Hello and welcome to 5 Minute Magic from Creativity for Sale podcast, a quick fire episode sharing tips and tricks from the pages of the book of the same title. Yes, Creativity for Sale. Every week I'll be sharing 1 or 2 ideas that could give you an actionable takeaway for your creative career, your business, or just a food for thought for the weekend ahead. These tips are taken from the audiobook and you can find a link to the full version in the show notes. Hi, this is Chris Tucker from Tucker & Partners. I can guarantee you that for the rest of the day, you will not forget about Chris Tucker or Tucker & Partners. It's actually an example of one of my real clients that I had to sneak it into the book because he made such an impression. And he used to say, every time he used to call me, he would make it with such a verb that, you can only think about Chris Tucker from Tucker & Partners. Anyway, in this episode, we talk about naming and everything that goes with it. So from, different ways how you can name your business all the way to trademarking process and making sure that your name, if it's unique, can also stay yours and not being infringed by anybody else.
Once you've done your research, you can start zooming in on your own brand, which often starts with your brand name. There are different types of brand names, from traditional and authority-inducing ones like Chris Tucker from Tucker & Partners, to fun one-word names like Beeple, or more modern compound names like Ragged Edge, or phrases like brand new. Think about what type of brand name is best suited to what you do. But before you choose a name and start designing your assets, bear in mind that you ideally want it to be as memorable or even unique as possible, which is a challenge in itself these days, considering the number of businesses in existence. You'll need to check whether any companies have registered the name already. The Companies House website shows you this in the UK, as well as the trademark register, available domain names, and social media handles. You'll soon find that this limits your shortlist considerably, so don't be afraid to get creative. In fact, your name could be derived from the way you define your creativity, and you can make a great impression with words or an implied meaning that evokes your personal creative philosophy. Many well-known creatives simply stuck the word studio after their name, but I think you can be more creative than that. Or you can sod the sensible naming options altogether and go for a name that's totally bonkers. It will be memorable at least. Yes, I'm looking at you, Ice Cream for Free, a creative practice name that you won't forget anytime soon. Sounding out ideas with your friends and people in your community or network is often a useful way to get instant, honest feedback. My wife calls this the pub test. If it makes sense immediately in an informal setting, you might be onto something. Next, run the phone test. That is, try to say your name plus company name as a response to an incoming call. Then try the same as an outgoing call. Does it still work? Can you say the words easily? Are people likely to understand you clearly the first time? Call your mum, or better still, your gran, and make them your unofficial focus group. If they get it, you're winning. With any name, my advice would be to keep it simple and easy to pronounce. That way, it'll be more memorable and easier for people to search for. Whatever their age, many people struggle with spelling. So, in my experience, the fewer keys that people have to press to load your domain in their browser, the better. Keep it short and simple. The availability of domain names should be a consideration, but don't discount a business name just because the domain is already taken. You can pick another domain as long as it makes sense with your business name. For example, if brandnew.co.uk had already been taken, I could have gone with brandnewstudio.co.uk or brand-new.co.uk. Consider trademarking. Once you've reached the end of the possibly fun, possibly arduous naming process, You might want to consider putting a trademark application in to secure your name for the future and its potential uses. You can trademark your company name, logo, product names, and more. Trademarks are assigned in different groups called classes to allow multiple uses of the same name across different companies. For example, sports equipment brands have one class for shoes, class 25, another for glasses, 009, walking sticks, 18, and so forth. Each of the products fall into a different class where the name is protected. Your creative business might expand into other products such as clothing, software, or other activities, and they might be covered by the original class choice, like 25 also covers golf clubs. It's worth noting that during the trademarking process, your name or names may be disputed by another company who has a stake in protecting their name. And this is why you should check the trademark register before choosing your company name and spending a lot of money on printing any promo material or clothing. If you're unlucky here, you might have to go back to the drawing board, and that will likely be a lot of hassle. Or it could be an opportunity to come up with something even better.